Good afternoon, everyone, all listeners, all Biafrans all over the world, and all people who are listening to me. I am Emeka Emekesiri, barrister and solicitor. I am the chairman of this Biafran movement that is anchored upon the rule of law, which we call the legal methodology of self-determination, founded by the elders of Biafra land. We will call the Ipob Biafra government, the indigenous people of Biafra that is founded by the elders. I will go into details later, but I want to say that our self-determination project is anchored upon the rule of law. We commenced in 2012 when we filed the case between Biafra and Nigeria in suit number FHC/OW/CS/102/2012. That is between indigenous people of Biafra, represented by the human rights organization we call the Bilie Human Rights Initiative. We instituted that case in 2012, which was later reconstituted and renumbered as suit number FHC/OW/CS/192/2013, which was later transferred to Abuja. The case is still pending at the moment, though. Well, there's something that you will hear very soon about the case between Biafra and Nigeria. So we are saying that this issue of self-determination is something that can be resolved by legal methodology, which includes the judicial process, the political process, and the diplomatic process. So whenever we talk about the legal methodology, some people think it's only going to court. That is the people's understanding. When we say legal methodology, they say, oh, court. No. Legal methodology means lawful methodology. Let me put it that way. That is a methodology that is recognized by law. It goes by judicial process. For instance, a court can make an order ceding a region. In the exercise of their right to self-determination, they can make an order ceding a region to somewhere else, or granting a region power to govern themselves. Or, you know what happened between Nigeria and Cameroon in the case over Bakassi land? Yeah, the judicial power was used by the International Court of Justice to carve out the part of Nigeria that is Bakassi, to carve it out and give it to Cameroon. Right now, Bakassi is no longer part of Nigeria. I hope you know that. It was by judicial power, the power of the International Court of Justice, carving away Bakassi region and giving it to Cameroon. So you can now see that the constitution that says that Nigeria should be indivisible, what has happened now? Since a part of it has been carved out and given to Cameroon, so what has happened? Has it not been divided? A part of it chucked away and given to Cameroon. Anyway, that is another issue for discussion. But what I'm telling you is that legal methodology involves the judicial process, the political process, and diplomatic processes. Of course, the political process also entails passing bills. People talk about referendum. I hear children on the road say, we want referendum, we want referendum. And when you ask them to tell you how referendum is got, they don't know. In fact, I saw some on the social media doing referendum in one village. They printed card or something, and they put two boxes, one Nigerian, one Biafra. They were voting. They were voting. They said their supreme leader told them they will have a referendum, and they were voting. They finished the vote, and they are still in that village. So it's not a childish thing. A bill will be passed into law by the parliament, granting power to conduct a referendum. And clearly, when that is done, when the bill is passed into law, it creates social contract that will now be binding on the government to let you go if you meet the minimum. That is a simple majority. So if there is no law backing your referendum, it cannot work. And how does the law come about? It has to be passed into, the bill for referendum has to be passed into law by the parliament. And then when we ask you to enter politics and go to the parliament and move the motion, you say you don't want to participate. Then who will move the motion for you? Motion for referendum, who will move the motion for you? Biafrans don't have someone to move the motion for them. And that's why we're asking the Biafran activists to go into politics so we can have somebody who can move the motion for referendum in the parliament. Now, I'm a lawyer. There are issues of law to be decided. Politics even is guided by rules of law. We're in court now. There's a case we have instituted now against the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In fact, the new suit is against Federal Republic of Nigeria, Attorney General of the Federation, General Yakubu Gowon, and General Olusegun Obasanjo. That's a new suit now. The next adjourned date is 25th, that is Tuesday. We are still at the preliminary stage. But I will want all Biafrans in the East to be at the court premises, Enugu Federal High Court, on the 25th, on Tuesday, because the case will come up again. That is what I will say now concerning that case. Then after the hearing on the 25th, we will talk more. And I also invite the press to come to that court. It is suit number FHC/EN/CS/103/2019 in the Federal High Court of Nigeria, Enugu Judicial Division. Yes, I'm saying that there is a new suit now between Biafra and Nigeria, and this new suit is all-encompassing. It subsumes the first suit. It's all-encompassing. And the prayers, in fact, is originating summons with mandatory orders. That's mandamus orders, orders of mandamus. Maybe I'll read out some orders we seek with the motion on notice. An order of injunction restraining the first and second defendants by themselves or their law enforcement agents or proxies from harassing, intimidating, molesting, or in any other way interfering with the claimant and its members as they display their native flags and emblems and trademarks on their products as they do now, while remaining loyal and obedient to the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria until the final determination of this case. 2. An order of injunction compelling the first and second defendants to release and unblock the claimant's website at www.ipobgovernment.org and refrain from further violating the human rights of the claimant and its members until the final determination of this case. 3rd, an order of injunction compelling the first and second defendants to cancel and withdraw the radio license and close down the radio station they acquired for the Fulani headsmen for being discriminatory against members of the claimant and unlawful contrary to section 42(1)(b) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999. An order of mandamus compelling the first and second defendants to refrain from giving the sum of 100 billion naira or any sum at all to the Fulani herdsmen as they have promised the Fulanis, without granting the same privileges to members of the claimant and other ethnic tradesmen for being discriminatory and an abuse of discretionary powers of the executive arm of the government. An order of mandamus compelling the first and second defendants to refrain from shutting down or downgrading their Kanu Ibiam International Airport in Enugu, but rather to commence actions immediately and develop the said airport with all facilities to make it functional as an international airport built and maintained by the first and second defendants to the required international standards. An order of mandamus compelling the first and second defendants to commence actions immediately for the dredging of the river Niger from Lokoja to the sea and to revamp, develop, equip, and maintain all the seaports and river ports in the southeast and south-south regions of Nigeria, to wit, the Azumini Obuaku Blue Seaport, the One Seaport, the Calabar Seaport, the Warri Seaport, the Onisha Inland River Port, the Obakundoke River Port, and the Uguta River Port. So there are injunctions, there are mandamus actions, there are mandatory actions on the motion on notice that are following, that's coming before the main suit. The main suit is an originating summons with 17 prayers. It's a bombshell. That is the current case that is between Biafra and Nigeria. It's going to be a hot case. It's going to be a hot case. We don't know how it will end. But let us go on Tuesday for a preliminary matter. After that, we now know what next to do. But I invite you to be at court on Tuesday, Enugu Federal High Court, for the proceedings, to participate and observe the proceedings. So we are talking about the use of law and diplomacy and politics in achieving independence. That is how it is done in developed nations now. In fact, right now, the international community does not allow the use of violence to achieve independence. We don't want violence anymore. That thing you can achieve by violence, you can also achieve it by negotiation. You discover that even when you fight in the battlefield, you still come to the table to negotiate, to settle. That is it. So why don't you then negotiate and settle without fighting? That's why we want the rule of law to prevail. So now this case, Ipob trading as customary government of indigenous people of Biafra versus Federal Republic of Nigeria, Attorney General of the Federation, General Yakubu Gowon, General Olusegun Obasanjo. I want you to understand some things about this Ipob. There is a suit that the federal government filed and obtained an order of prescription order against, that case is suit number FHC/ABJ/CS/879/2017 between Attorney General of the Federation as applicant and indigenous people of Biafra Ipob as respondent. By that suit, the federal government obtained an order prescribing the organization called Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB in brackets. And now there is a confusion. This Indigenous People of Biafra or IPOB bracket is now misunderstood. You see, there is an existing body known as Indigenous People of Biafra which sued in a representative capacity in the suits number FHC/OW/CS/192/2013. And now there is a body, Ipob, which the elders founded, different from this one that was prescribed. I will tell you the story, the history, because there is confusion. Now, this one that was prescribed is the one headed by Nnamdi Kanu. He is a popular figure. He is known all over the world. The media, everywhere, they know him. Nnamdi Kanu. He is the leader of this organization in this suit number FHC/ABJ/CS/871/2017. this is the case between federal government of Nigeria and Nnamdi Kanu's faction. I will tell you how it happened. It's unfortunate that media, I will accuse the media and I will charge you, the media, you misrepresented facts and deceived the public, the media. Because when this thing happened, you were told Dr. Dozie Ikedife signed a disclaimer and ostracized Nnamdi Kanu in 2014. And it was published. The federal government was notified. The governments of different nations were notified. Even the United Nations was notified because we have ECOSOC status with the United Nations. All of you were notified, even the press in Nigeria. But you refused to let the public know the truth. The Ipob, the original Ipob, was created by the elders. The head of indigenous people of Biafra, the head is His Royal Majesty, His Lordship, the Honorable Justice Ezozobo, retired. He is the head. Then the deputy was Dr. Dozie Ikedife, who just died a few months ago. The Secretary General was General Joe Achuzie, who has also left us. There are, and also Chief Barrister Emeka is also a member of the council. And all the elders that are part of that council that established Ipob, customary government. Now, people have been asking me, how did Ipob come about? How did it originate? You will get the origin of Ipob from this book. When you read this book, you will see it. Just read this book. You will see the origin of Ipob, how the name Indigenous People of Biafra was coined, how it was created. You will understand it here. Now, when, of course, everything, every invention on earth is made by somebody. So if I say I invented it, it's not a pride. It's not a thing of pride because everything is invented by somebody. The microphone you use, invented by somebody. The telephone you use, invented by somebody. The light we use, invented by somebody. Somebody must invent something. I invented that too. I have also invented other things, even for the benefit of the country. The formula for the current petroleum industry bill, currently before the National Assembly, was created by me. The formula, it was created by me. There are other things I have created. The formula, mathematical formula for valuation, method formula for valuation, estate surveying and valuation. I created those, I invented those things. Of course, God will use somebody to invent something. So God used me to invent that, Indigenous People of Biafra, which in 2013, Dr. Ikedife abbreviated to Ipob. Now, Nnamdi Kanu joined us from Masob. He joined us from Masob. At that time, I don't know what happened. He said he had some misunderstanding with Owazirike, where I don't know the details. But he joined us. He registered as our member. Then we were operating under a human rights organization that is representing Indigenous People of Biafra, because the name Indigenous People of Biafra is amorphous, non-legal entity that cannot sue or be sued except in a representative capacity. Of course, those of you that are lawyers, you know that a non-legal entity can only sue or be sued in a representative capacity. So, Indigenous People of Biafra was represented by Bilie Human Rights Initiative in the case. So, Nnamdi Kanu registered with us and was our member. On 30th of June 2012, he registered and became our member. I still have his file with me. He registered and became our member. And of course, he told us that he is very good at media work, but that he didn't have money to run the media. So we said, okay, we will help. And then after every meeting, we will contribute money and give him. He said that they needed money for what they call airtime or something. I don't know, I'm not into media. But it was difficult, but any little money we gathered and our general meeting, we will also give to him. Initially, he was doing very well, promoting the movement, the Supreme Council of Elders of Indigenous People of Biafra. and the Ibide Human Rights Initiative, which was championing the case. And we were moving very well. He was now made the director of media. He was in charge of media. Then I was in charge of the law, going to court. So there was division of labor. Every person was doing his own. The elders were there giving guidance, giving instructions on how to move. And it was beautiful. We were moving. The elders were there to guide us, to instruct us, to direct us. And we were there working at the instance of the elders. Everything was going smoothly. Suddenly, Nnamdi now turned and started abusing everybody with his microphone. Insulting everybody, abusing everybody, calling names. It was horrible. What happened in those days? It was horrible. I don't know whether he still talks like that now. I don't know. But he was abusing everybody, insulting everybody, he was threatening everybody, threatening to assassinate us, assassinate me, assassinate elders, threatening to assassinate the Igbo leader. The threats were too much. Incitement, his followers were incited. In fact, his followers were so incited that they threatened to assassinate me and assassinate Dr. Ikedife. Listen. When they threatened to assassinate me, I did not really worry so much. It was when they threatened to assassinate Dr. Ikedife that I became angry. And then I called Barrister Emeka Emekesiri. Barrister Emeka Emekesiri is still alive. He will confirm. I called him and warned him, if you incite these children to assassinate Dr. Ikedife, listen, I will make sure that I will, the whole Igbo land, I will move the whole Igbo nation against your village. Listen, Ikedife is not somebody you can just assassinate and go free. Emekesiri said, Emekesiri said he never instructed any person to assassinate anybody. Emekesiri just removed his hand, said he was never part of it. He never advised any person. So he exculpated himself from the allegation. I said, okay, fine. Whoever is doing that, warn him. Because Dr. Ikedife is not a man that you people can just threaten and go free. You know, when they threatened Dr. Ikedife, he called me. And I was moved to tears. He called me, Nwanne. That's what he used to call me. Nwanne. I answered. He said, Nwanne, na ndorondoro. This Biafra movement, because I'm from the legal methodology you created, and I felt that is the best way, and I followed, and then brought other elders, and we all together. But umaka say hagabi ebum by 6 p.m. Hasi hagi ebum namu kwere Buhari n'aka hamji kwe Buhari na hagi ebu isi aka ma ha roya n'ọkụ nye mta. So when he said that, hey, I was moved. I said, what? Then I took action, called around to make sure it never happened. However, when there's something in law called threat to life, when you threaten somebody's life, whether you actually go ahead to perform it or not, threat to life is a crime. Threat to life is a crime. Okay, so the elders ostracized Nnamdi Kanu in 2014, excommunicated him. But you know, Nnamdi Kanu, instead of repenting, showing remorse, he now took our name that is already in court, Indigenous People of Biafra. He now went and registered it in the company house in England as Indigenous People of Biafra Limited. And then declared himself the owner and founder and leader of Indigenous People of Biafra. And started threatening everybody, making sensational statements, which the press people liked so much. I remember in those days that the press, before he was arrested, they went to Ezozobu and interviewed him. Ezozobu told them that he never knew this boy. That this boy, I don't know who is he. Who is Nnamdi Kanu? I don't know him. Ezozobu denied him. I remember that some people were against His Royal Majesty for denying the boy. But Ezozobu said the truth. His Lordship said the truth, because Nnamdi had never met His Lordship, Honorable Justice Ezozobu, in his lifetime. He never met him. Because I did not introduce him to His Lordship. He was only hearing about him, the head of indigenous people of Biafra. Now Nnamdi now took over, said that now he's now the head, the leader. So the elders were now watching this boy. Do you expect the elders to come and fight with him? No. The elders were watching him, and we continued our own. The elders continued the Ipob customary government. The indigenous people of Biafra, under the elders, we continued. But the press, I still accuse you of unfaithfulness and wickedness. Instead of telling the world the truth, you decided to promote Nnamdi Kanu's faction, and you refused to tell the world what happened. What is wrong? The truth must be known. There's nothing to hide. We were together before, but he was excommunicated. Simple. It is there. The letters are there. Letter of excommunication is there. The company registered is there. The documents are there. So these two different things. So right now there's a confusion. When you talk about Ipob, people think of Nnamdi Kanu. No. That is the original Ipob of the elders, which I represent. I'm their spokesman now. So some people say, well, since Nnamdi has taken your brainchild, leave him. How can you? Somebody will steal your intellectual property. You leave him. Well, all you need to do is to say there's a difference between the two. Yes, he has, let me say, stolen, because that has intellectual property is a property and it can be stolen, and it's a crime. When you steal someone's intellectual property, it's a crime. Yes, it's my intellectual property. That name, indigenous people of Biafra, is my intellectual property. I coined it, I created it, and in fact, patented it, copyrighted it. Is even there copyrighted. It was copyrighted. The copyright registered. So there's no need fighting over it. No need. But the best thing is to say the two are different. So the Nnamdi Kanu's faction of Ipob is different from the elders' faction. The elders is not a faction, it's the original. Nnamdi Kanu is a faction. And I understand that from Nnamdi Kanu's faction, another faction also broke away called Ipob DOS. Also broke away. And from Ipob DOS, I think another one has also broken away. So they will continue in a binary fiction. Binary, they'll continue breaking, but the elders' Ipob remains one. So there's a difference, and I want the press to tell the world the truth. If I say that Nnamdi Kanu is a thief of intellectual property, I'm not wrong, because there's something called theft of intellectual property. But let me not go there. There's nothing to fight about it. God, who gave me the brain, has given me brain to create things. I create things. I am innovative. I am initiative. I create things. So if you steal the other one, I will still create more. I don't need to fight with you. God has blessed me with creative ingenuity. I create things. So I don't have to fight over his own faction. Let him continue with his own faction, while we continue Ipob trading as customary government of indigenous people of Biafra. So we are organized. We have the customary government organizing the people in their town hall meetings. In all cities, all towns, all villages, the Biafrans, the indigenous people of Biafra, we have our town hall meetings under the elders. Now we have the chambers, the law firm, my law firm, Mekadov Chambers, is the law firm regulating them. The law firm carrying their case forward. The law firm guiding them, making sure that they don't break the law. Making sure they don't become unlawful. So to make sure that the Biafra activists are controlled, are brought under control and guided properly, without allowing them to break the law. That is why the law firm Mekadov Chambers, that my law firm, the lawyers that work with me, I and the lawyers who work with me, we make sure that we guide the Biafran activists properly. So you see us, nobody harasses us. The police, they know us. The Nigerian government, they know us. They actually know the difference. I remember one day when they made a mistake and went to arrest one of our members. They made a mistake, but by the time we now call them, they now say, oh, they are sorry. But you see, this indiscriminate arrest is not right. You should be able to know the difference. So you don't arrest those that are operating within the law, and they mistake them for those that, well, performing outside the rule of law. You see, sometimes people say, these people you are arresting, what did they do? In the criminal code, there is something called breach of the peace. It's a crime. So the law enforcement officer, the police can actually arrest you for what they call breach of the peace. Or in fact, that is, they say act likely to cause breach of the peace. An act likely to cause breach of the peace is an offense under the criminal code. So make sure that you don't give that excuse, don't give that opportunity to them to arrest you for just nothing, because you performed in a way, you conducted yourself in a way that they interpret as an act likely to cause breach of the peace. So we want you to be part of this struggle by legal methodology. We are in court with Nigeria, and we want you to be part of it. You are protected under the law. The law is no respecter of persons. The law that protects Nigerian government also protects you. The law does not take sides. It is for justice. So we want, listen, some people say, why are you filing case in court in Nigeria? If Nigerian court does not hear us, we move out. Of course, you have to start with Nigerian court. And when your Nigerian court does not give you justice, you appeal, you go out to international court. So that is the rule. Those who want to follow the rule of law must follow it as the law prescribes. Start with Nigerian jurisdiction. If Nigeria say we don't want to hear you, then you have right now to go outside Nigeria. I go to court of either the West African, the ECOWAS court or international court. That is how, but the rule of law must prevail. So I invite you to follow us in the use of legal methodology to achieve independence for Biafra. Thank you very much for listening to me. God bless you.